I want Amazon to deliver glaciers so I don't have to hike this far to see them. Is it too much to ask?
Go very far from the main campground, maybe about 1.5 kilometers, then you'll hit the La Relais little chalet thing. Then you turn in and you get all the way up this little path and you get to one of the many huts that you can find in the Canadian Rockies. This one here is called the Elizabeth Parker Hut. It's a gorgeous little spot. It's kind of wide open. And this wasn't always like this. Back in the olden days, they used to use this area here for horses and camping, and they would set up this entire area. And then they realized in the 70s that a lot of the plants and flowers and vegetation is not growing again. This was just turned into like a muddy opening. And now it's still an opening because a lot of these trees have been cut down. Even from way far up above, when we did Lake Owisa and Lake O'Hara, once we are at Lake Owisa, you can see this opening here. But now they've created a hut right in here, so you don't have to worry about the vegetation as much because people will just come and camp there. You don't walk off the paths, and now from the 70s until now, the vegetation has come back and this area is basically reclaimed to what it used to be. So yeah, it's kind of neat. We'll have a little look around the hut, see what that looks like. Well, 2.5 kilometers roughly from the campsite, we finally arrived at Schaefer Lake. Right over there, there's Mount Schaefer, and we're going to be trying to get on top of that today. This is also kind of like a crossroads for a bunch of different reasons. So in behind me over there, there's the Outaray, Mount Outaray, and then there's like the little Outaray, so you can go in behind there. There's a trail that kind of veers off that way. So this is another set of mountains that you can come and explore. I wanted to also show you guys, if you go out up to Mount Schaefer, you can see in behind me there, there's like this opening and there's a scree to come down, so you can actually come down through there instead of coming back down the other way, and that shaves about 2 kilometers off your hike if you're going back to the campground anyways. So we're going to take a little break here, then hit back on the trail, and next up, Lake MacArthur. MacArthur Lake. Quite the gorgeous view here. Dark blue from the till, that in the deeper spots, it's just like a dark, dark blue. You can see that kind of in behind me there, on this side especially. On that side, it's more shallow, so it's more turquoise. Over here, you can tell the water is way deeper. And you have the whole Schaefer Mountain in behind there. And then that's the whole Schaefer's Ridge here. It's definitely a climb, not a hike. You can see behind me there, that big mountain, that's Mount Biddle. And I've actually been on the other side of that mountain. Did not know that the other side, on the MacArthur Lake side, is quite steep on the way down. And not only that, there's a huge glacier, an old glacier. You can tell every year it kind of melts and then there's like a deposit. So it's almost, you can count how old the glacier is just by counting the rings, kind of like a tree. On the south side is actually Park Mountain. There's allegedly a route to get up there, but it's 100% advanced scrambling. Up top, there's a little bit of a cliff over there and you get the gorgeous view of this whole area. So I'm gonna show you guys this whole scenery here right now. So I was about ready to leave the area, and then I was like, you know what? Don't go up top of Schaefer Mountain. Just come here and see if you can get close. And there is a trail. Like, I followed a trail all the way here. I think if you go high enough, you can do it. You just have to be super careful because you're basically traversing a high angled rock face, basically. You can see behind me there. If you go high enough up, you can keep going. And you can see over there that there's like a little section that only probably about 100 meters. It looks slippery, mainly because there's actually water coming from above. And also there's not a real path. I think there's no path there because it's all stone. So it's not like somebody went in there and chiseled away like a little notch for people to use as a trail. But that is basically the route that you would use if you want to get on top of Park Mountain. Well, that is Mount Biddle. And that gorgeous, gorgeous glacier that's in front of there. I just can't stop staring at it. I don't know, maybe it's because I like ice cream and this reminds me of ice cream. So my initial urge is to bring powdered sugar and to just pour some on the glacier and then lick it off. That's probably a bad idea, and it's probably not that tasty either, but it looks like ice cream to me. And right now I am on a little peninsula that's on the far other side of Lake MacArthur. And I think this is the end. Oh yeah. So this is the end of the peninsula. I don't want to venture any further back there because I don't know how safe that is to travel out there. Awesome 360 views here. You can see that whole Schaefer Mountain. The very beginning of that ridge. We're going up there to try to look at the views up there. I'm going to show you guys a cool panoramic of this entire area for your viewing entertainment right now. Well, that was a steep climb. Steep climb. You can see right in front of us there, that's the little cathedral, they call it. And you got the great view of this valley that we just climbed up here, and the lake at the bottom. You can see all the way to the road from here, which is quite insane. From this angle here, you can see that really, really far back mountain range. That's where the road is. So that's the actual where we started initially. You can see the little Odaray Mountain at the back there. Where the tree line ends here, that's where the trail is. You zoom down, you can see the trail clear as day. You can see the switchbacks right in there. And it goes over to that side. And from there, it follows that little clip of snow. You have a 360 view here, but you kind of have to walk out to the fringe to get your view and then to go back over to the other side. So let's go check out on the Lake MacArthur side. It's a bit steep down on this side, not so much on that side. Actually, I'm looking at this scree here, and you could almost go down on this side if you really wanted to. Not suggested unless you really like doing screes and all. But this is Lake MacArthur from the top of Mount Schaefer here. Quite the interesting view. You have the true peak here of Mount Schaefer, which is at the far back there. Yeah, it's probably like a class 4. If you fall, you're definitely, or slip, you're definitely gonna hurt yourself. It could be lethal also, depending on where you fall. So that's too much exposure for my taste today. And there you can see the good view of Park Mountain there, and how it's quite incredible how it's got like, it's like an extended ridge that sticks out of the one side. And that snow that's there, it's creating all these little tiny waterfalls all along the edge. There's like 5, 6 of them, and you can hear them. The slow, low rumble of the water. It's quite impressive. And now I'm going to show you guys a nice panoramic of this whole area here. Let's try to stitch it together for you guys to see right now. So that is Mount Biddle. And that is McArthur Lake. And I'm Eric Tremblay, and these are my adventures. Peace out, everyone.